What's going on, guys? Another big trade went down in the NHL today involving the Columbus Blue Jackets. They traded Nick Foligno to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a first and fourth round pick. Now again, like with the David Savard trade, they had to find a third team to put this trade through as Foligno had too big of a cap hit for the Maple Leafs. So they actually first traded him to the Sharks, retained 50% before trading him to the Leafs, which means the Leafs are actually only paying him 75%. For their services and retaining that cap, the Leafs actually gave the Sharks a fourth round pick. They also got Stefan Noesen back, who probably isn't going to play any games in the NHL, but you never know. So for this trade, we'll probably just do like the Blue Jackets part of it, first and fourth round pick for Foligno, then just know that they had to also pay the Sharks a fourth to make the salary cap work. Now in-game, Nick Foligno is not too bad. I'm actually pretty fine with his rating. As you guys can see here, he's a 32-year-old, 82 overall forward. Already have him at 50%, that way the trade will work in-game. He's kind of like your perfect bottom six forward, I'd say. He does it all. He's a decent offensive talent, good defensive game, can play wing or center. He's physical, he's gritty, he'll get into the corners, he'll scrap if he has to. He's kind of like your all-around package guy, which is why I think he was the captain of the Blue Jackets. So really good heart and soul guy, which is clearly what Leafs are adding here. They've added Foligno now. Before that, they added Simmons, Bogosian. Even Thornton's a bit of a heart and soul guy. Simmons and Bogosian more of like that grit. So if the Leafs again get bounced first or second round, they cannot blame Dubas for not adding enough grit and heart and soul to that Leafs team. Foligno here, last few years, been a 30-point guy. He's put up 73 one year. That's 14-15. I think that's the year he got paid, and that's his best year by far. So you see that a lot. A guy will have a really good year, and it'll always be his contract year. He's playing with a bit of extra motivation, gets paid, and definitely settles down. But early 30s, so he's still not too old. And again, I feel like in Leafs bottom six definitely is going to help them out a lot. Let that top six be Tavares, Marner, Matthews, Nylander. Let your bottom six kind of be your role guys. So Foligno here, salary cap's going to be very, very close. Hopefully this works in game. First round pick 2021 and a fourth round pick 2022. It will work, okay? And as you can see, the value is way on the Leafs side, so they're not going to say yes to this. Again, in-game first round picks are worth a ton, even on a team like the Leafs, who are supposed to be a contender. So as we expected, they reject it. And after trading Savard yesterday and Foligno today, the Blue Jackets now have 3 first round picks in this year's draft. I don't know if any of the 3 will be top 5, but the fact that they have 3 first-round picks to work with in a draft that's completely wide open. I know a lot of people have said it's one of the worst draft classes in a while, which I probably agree with, but because of like the no scouting in person or very limited scouting in person, it's completely wide open. I feel like when we look back at this draft class, some of the best players from it will be mid-first-round picks, late first-round picks, even later picks in the draft. So I think this year more than any, not only is a first round pick not as valuable, which I think is why you're seeing teams like Toronto and Tampa still willing to move them, but I also think it means a late first round pick might be just as good as an early first round pick. So hopefully for Columbus' sake, they can make something happen there. I feel like they've been kind of stuck in mediocrity for a while now. Obviously had a couple decent playoff runs, but usually they're a first or second round exit team, or they're not making the playoffs, but too good to have that high pick. So hopefully for their sake, they can get lucky with at least one of those 3 picks. And after the trade, guys, here's an update look at the Blue Jackets forward group when they're healthy. They got Borkstrand, Domi, and Laine there in the first line. Laine definitely has to kind of become that superstar for Columbus if they want to have any success. Atkinson, Roslovic, who has looked a lot better on Columbus than Winnipeg. Boone Jenner, Nyquist, Texier, Grigorenko, Stenlund, Bemstrom, Robinson. You can tell, like, after trading Dubois, they don't have a lot of center depth. Jenner could play the middle, but still doesn't really change it too much in my eyes. Also, too, defensively, they still have Werenski and Jones, but not a lot after that, after trading Savard. I've actually heard some rumblings that maybe they'll trade one of their goalies, whether it be Corby Seller or Merzlikins. I don't think they'll get a first-round pick back for one of them, but if they can get a third, maybe a second-rounder, especially in this year's draft, they would have so many picks to, kind of retool this team around. I feel like they're not going to do a full rebuild, as they still have some good young players. Laine's only 22, Werenski's only 23, Jones is 25, but I could definitely see Kekalainen doing like a full retool here, try and bring in some, fresh faces, kind of like what Minnesota did. It worked out pretty well for them. Now, Columbus doesn't really have a Kaprizov playing over in Russia right now, but still the formula is there. If you have a good young core, you can retool the team without completely tearing it down for rebuild. So if that's what Columbus does, hopefully it works out for them. And next year, guys, we're going to try this trade from the Leafs perspective. Now, the first thing I actually want to do is see if San Jose would accept a 4th-round pick, take on $2.75 million in dead cap. Now, the way I'm going to do this, I actually just signed this completely random player to $2.75 million. Wahlberg, 31 years old, 55 overall. I'm not really sure who he is. He was in free agency, though. When I listed it by value, he had the lowest. So, Wahlberg with the 4th there. We're taking back Noesen. The value is actually on our side, so maybe they'll say yes. I'm just curious if we go down in-game. Again, this is medium difficulty. I always forget to mention that till it's like halfway through the video. Trades rejected. Okay, so yeah, they don't want the $2.75 million there for a 4th round pick, which means EA thinks the Leafs only have to give up a 4th round pick for that and a Noesen back. is actually a really good deal. Personally, I think a fourth is pretty fair. That's what the Red Wings got as well. A team with a ton of cap space like that, literally just a free pick for them. And now, guys, we're going to try the actual trade with Columbus. I forgot to mention, it was kind of cool when we were doing the trade as Columbus, the Leafs are actually interested in Foligno. And if you look here, the Blue Jackets have both Savard and Foligno on the block. How cool is that? Both guys have actually traded. Are those the only two guys on the block? Okay, they also have Del Zotto and Riley Nash. Riley Nash has actually already been traded in real life to the Leafs to give them a bit more cap space. So if they trade Del Zotto next year, then the EA literally just called all 4 players being traded by Columbus. Now for the Foligno trade, we of course have to retain 50%, which they better not say something like, oh, we're retaining 50%, it's not fair, whatever. Like, they care way too much about that in this game. So first round pick 2021, fourth rounder 2022. The value is not even close. I'm still not sure it's going to go through though. It really should. Let's see what the Blue Jackets say to this. Ooh, trade accepted. They're willing to retain their salary. Move on from Foligno. Okay, so yeah. In game, they think Columbus gets the better deal. I see a lot of people saying Leafs won this in real life. I think it's pretty fair. I might even give the edge, honestly, to Columbus, just because I feel like a first and a fourth round pick is a lot to give up. The fact the Blue Jackets also got a first and third for Savard, like, I would have expected a first max for both those guys. The fact they get extra picks on top of that, Kekalainen's doing a very, very good job right now. And after that trade, guys, here's my best guess at what the Leafs lines are going to look like when they're healthy. I've got Thornton back on the first line with Matthews and Marner. Second line there, Nylander, Tavares, and Hyman. Third line, we have Foligno there with Spezza, Mikheyev. Fourth line, Simmons, Kerfoot, Engvall. Obviously, Foligno and Spezza interchangeable. Could have one play center, the other play the wing. First line left wing. Could be Thornton. Could be Galchenyuk, who I actually have scratched right now. Nosen, I think, will be in AHL. Be just there because of the trade. Hutchinson as well, just the extra goalie. Defensively, I think they look good, a lot better than they have in seasons past. Goaltending, there's a big question when Freddie Anderson comes back. Will he be the starter, or do you ride Jack Campbell? I feel like right now you can't not start Jack Campbell until he at least loses one game. The fact that he has 11-0, absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, looking at this team, does it look like a Stanley Cup champion team? I think it does. I think they look really good. I'm trying to remember if I picked the Leafs to win the Stanley Cup this year in my predictions. I might have. If not, I think I picked them last year, but they're the favorite to come out of the Canadian division. If not them, it'll be the Oilers in my opinion. And McDavid and Draisaitl basically just have to kind of go God mode if they do play the Leafs to carry Edmonton over Toronto in a 7-game series. Next year, guys, I'm going to give you a quick look at Nick Foligno as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Let's see how this looks on him. Not too bad. So he actually has a good game face there, unlike David Savard. 71 Foligno. Doesn't look too bad. Obviously played in Ontario before. He was a Senator back before he became a Blue Jacket. Again, I feel like he's definitely going to be a huge addition to that bottom 6. You look at the Leafs, they kind of have everything. They got the top-end skill. They have the good, gritty guys. They have a solid decor. They have the hottest goal in the NHL right now. It's not even close to Jack Campbell. Kind of the recipe you need to win a Stanley Cup. They have all 3, so we'll see if they can pull it off or not. I'm hoping they at least can win one round. I don't think they've won a round in a while now, but that's me, guys, for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments section which team you think won the trade. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit that sub button, as I'm sure you'll be making a ton more of these videos over the next 24 hours with the trade deadline tomorrow, so you're not going to want to miss it. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.